Welcome in, everybody, to a deep dive that, well, it's going to hit a little differently today.
Yeah.
We're going to be taking a look at the life and the work of Alysha Burney, a YouTuber
Mm.
who, I mean, she brought laughter to millions with her
Mhm.
hilarious sketches and parodies you might know her from.
Absolutely.
Those spot-on Bad Girls Club parodies,
Yeah.
or maybe her Cooking with Burnery series,
Uh-huh.
which, let's be honest, had us all cracking up.
Yeah, it's a deep dive. That's for sure tinged with sadness,
Yeah.
given her recent and unexpected passing.
Yeah.
But we're here to explore not just the circumstances around her death,
Right.
but also what made her such a force online. What was it about her content, her personality
Yeah.
that resonated with so many people?
And it really is remarkable, at just 24 years old,
Hmm.
she had almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube alone.
Wow.
And that doesn't even include her huge following on Instagram and TikTok.
Right.
To build that kind of audience while also pursuing a degree in digital media production and working on a graduate degree, that's some serious dedication.
Absolutely. What's fascinating here is that her drive to learn seems to have fueled her creativity. She wasn't just making funny videos. She was constantly honing her craft, understanding the technical side of production.
Right.
You can see that evolution in her work, how it became more polished, more sophisticated over time.
Yeah, it's clear she wasn't just a flash in the pan. Alysha was building something real,
Yeah.
a career, a brand, but it all got cut tragically short.
Hmm.
She passed away on March 2nd while on vacation in Cabo San Lucas.
Just one day before her 25th birthday, which makes it even more heartbreaking.
I know.
Her brother, Charles Burney, confirmed that the cause of death was an asthma attack, which she dealt with for years. He's been very active online, not just sharing the news,
Right.
but also pushing back against the rumors and speculation that inevitably swirl around events like this.
Yeah, I can't imagine what her family's going through having to deal with that on top of their grief. It's commendable that he's trying to protect her memory to ensure the focus stays on who Alysha truly was.
And it highlights something crucial about online fame, something that's often overlooked.
Yeah.
Even when you have millions of followers, even when you're creating this persona that people connect with,
Uh.
there's still a real person behind it all. A person with a family,
Yeah.
with vulnerabilities, with a life beyond the screen.
That makes you think, doesn't it, especially in this case where Alysha was so open about her struggles with asthma, even weaving it into her comedy, it's like she was saying, hey, I'm dealing with this, but I'm not going to let it define me.
Right.
I'm still going to laugh. I'm still going to create.
It's a powerful message, especially for young people facing their own challenges.
Yeah.
It normalizes those struggles.
Yeah.
Shows that you can be successful, funny, and loved even while dealing with difficult things.
And it adds another layer to her comedy because, let's be honest, some of her material was edgy, pushing boundaries, but knowing that she was facing her own battles makes it feel even more courageous. Like she was saying, I'm going to make light of this. I'm going to find humor even in the darkness.
It's a reminder that humor can be a coping mechanism, a way to process difficult emotions and connect with others who might be going through similar things.
But it also raises a question, how do you balance that authenticity with the pressures of online fame, especially when you're young and figuring things out?
Yeah.
There's this constant scrutiny, this need to produce content that's going to keep your audience engaged.
It's a tricky balance for sure, and something that Alysha seemed to navigate quite well. She never shied away from being herself, but she also understood the platform she had
Yeah.
and the responsibility that came with it.
And that's maybe what made her so relatable. She was funny, talented, and driven, but she was also flawed, vulnerable, and real.
Which brings us to the question of her legacy. What impact does she have beyond the laughs and the entertainment?
Right.
And what can we learn from her story, both as creators and as consumers of online content?
Yeah.
It's a big one.
It is a big one, and we're going to tackle that right after this break.
As we dig into Alysha's legacy, I keep thinking about her dream of opening a production studio in Kansas City.
Yeah.
It wasn't just some vague idea either.
Right.
She was actively planning it. It even started scouting locations.
What's remarkable about that, aside from her ambition at such a young age, is the purpose behind it.
Yeah.
This wasn't just about building a business for herself. Alysha wanted to create a space for other young creatives, especially those from underrepresented backgrounds.
That's what gets me. She was already achieving so much, building this huge following, but she was already thinking about how to use her platform to lift others up. Where do you think that drive to help others came from?
It's hard to say for sure, but her family background probably play a role.
Yeah.
Her father being a comedian must have had a big influence, not just on her comedic sensibilities,
Right.
but also on her understanding of the hustle and grind it takes to make it in a creative field. Yeah, and you can see that family support woven throughout her work. Remember those early Vine videos where her brother would pop up?
Oh, yeah.
They had this great chemistry, this playful sibling rivalry that was so relatable. It wasn't just funny, it felt genuine.
It speaks to the power of those early influences,
Mm.
those formative experiences that shape who we become.
Right.
And it makes you wonder, what kind of mentorship did she receive?
Mm-hmm.
What lessons did she learn from her father, from her family,
Yeah.
that she wanted to pass on to others?
It's interesting, too, because Alysha's mom, Anitra Scott, has been sharing stories about Alysha's childhood, how she was always the life of the party,
Oh.
always making people laugh. It's like that spark was always there,
Yeah.
waiting to be ignited.
And when it was, it ignited a fire that touched millions.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to remember that even the brightest flames could be extinguished too soon.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to that question of legacy.
Mm.
How do we ensure that Alysha's light continues to shine,
Right.
even in her absence?
Some people might say, well, her videos are still out there. People can still enjoy them. And that's true.
All right.
But it feels like there's more to it than that. There's this potential,
Yeah.
this unfulfilled promise that's hard to ignore.
Especially with that production studio.
Mm.
It feels like a tangible way to keep her dream alive,
Uh-huh.
to create that space for young creatives that she envisioned. Imagine a place where aspiring filmmakers, comedians, musicians could come together, learn from each other, and hone their craft.
And not just any space, a space built on Alysha's values,
Right.
a space that emphasizes inclusivity, collaboration, and that same fearlessness she brought to her comedy.
It would just be a tribute to her. It would be an extension of her work, a way to amplify her impact on the world.
Mm.
And who knows, maybe some future comedy star will get their start
Yeah.
in that very studio,
Yeah.
carrying on Alysha's legacy in ways we can't even imagine yet.
I love that idea. It's not about dwelling on the lost, but about finding ways to channel that energy into something positive, something that honors her spirit.
And it speaks to a larger point about how we process grief in the digital age.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
It's not just about mourning in private. It's about finding ways to share those stories, to keep those memories alive
Yeah.
in the online spaces where they first took root.
It's like creating a digital memorial, but one that's dynamic, interactive, and constantly evolving. It's about keeping that conversation going, allowing her fans to grieve, to celebrate,
Yeah.
and to find solace in shared memories.
And maybe it can inspire others to take action, to pursue their own creative dreams, to use their voices to make the world a little brighter, just like Alysha did.
It's a powerful thought, and one that leads us to the bigger picture.
Hmm.
What lessons can we learn from Alysha's life and unexpected passing? How do we make sure that, even though she's gone,
Right.
her impact continues to ripple outwards? It feels like we've been bouncing back and forth, between celebrating Alysha's life and grappling with the fact that she's gone. It's this strange mix of sadness and inspiration.
Yeah, it is understandable.
Hmm.
I think her story really makes you confront the fragility of life, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Especially when someone so young, so full of potential is taken from us so unexpectedly. But I think that's part of what makes her legacy so powerful.
It's like a wake-up call, a reminder that we shouldn't take anything for granted, that we should chase our dreams and connect with people and just live fully right now.
Exactly. And it's a testament to Alysha's impact that even in her absence, she's sparking these conversations, prompting us to reflect on our own lives and priorities.
Yeah, and not just on a personal level. Her passing has really highlighted the complexities of online fame and the parasocial relationships that form in these digital spaces.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
On one hand, you have this incredible ability to connect with millions of people,
Mm-hmm.
to build a community, to make a difference. But on the other hand, there's this constant pressure to perform, to be on, to maintain this persona that may or may not reflect your true self.
And then when something like this happens, there's this outpouring of grief from people who may have never met Alysha in person, but felt deeply connected to her through her videos. It makes you question the nature of those connections, doesn't it?
It does. It challenges our traditional notions of community and the ways we grieve. But I think it also speaks to the power of authenticity. Alysha was able to forge these genuine connections with her audience precisely because she wasn't afraid to be herself, to be vulnerable, to share her struggles alongside her triumphs.
That's what I keep coming back to, her authenticity. It's like you could feel that she wasn't putting on an act, that she genuinely cared about making people laugh, about connecting with her audience on a human level.
And that's a valuable lesson for all of us, whether we're content creators or simply navigating our own online lives. It's a reminder that vulnerability can be a strength, that authenticity resonates, and that genuine connection transcends the boundaries of the digital world.
So where do we go from here? What can we do to honor Alysha's memory and ensure that her legacy continues to have a positive impact?
Well, I think supporting her family's efforts to combat misinformation and protect her legacy is crucial. We can share accurate information, amplify their voices, and push back against harmful rumors.
And as we talked about before, maybe there's a way to rally around her dream of opening that production studio.
Yeah.
It could become a hub for young creatives, a space where her vision of inclusivity and collaboration can flourish.
Imagine the ripple effects that could have. It would be a testament to her enduring impact, a place where her spirit continues to inspire and empower future generations of artists.
It's a beautiful thought, and it reminds us that even though Alysha's story has ended, her legacy is just beginning. It's up to us to carry that torch, to spread her message of joy, creativity, and connection.
So let's keep watching her videos, sharing her work, and talking about the impact she had on our lives. Let's support the causes she cared about and find ways to make the world a little brighter just like she did.
Alysha Burney may be gone, but her laughter, her spirit, and her message of authenticity will continue to resonate for years to come.
And that's a legacy worth celebrating. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.